Instant karma is a strange force. You know, when the universe seems to correct itself in the most poetic way, and you're just here, popcorn in hand, watching it unfold. That's exactly what happened on day, whatever Browns camp it is. Shedeur Sanders made his comeback, and suddenly, the script flipped in a heartbeat. If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed. Let's be real. Shedeur didn't just return. He arrived, and not with fanfare, not with arm-tucked grandstanding. He came in quiet, focused, and effective. Within minutes, you could sense it. This wasn't a return, it was a rout, dismantling the doubt with every clean drop of the ball. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel, who'd seemed steady enough when Shedeur sat out, was unraveling deeper than a Twitter meltdown after a pick. His passes were off, his poise ragged, his composure slipping with every rep. The contrast was impossible to ignore. Shedeur was calm under pressure, execution precise. Gabriel was forcing things and losing control. Remember that moment in the collapsed pocket? That was Shedeur in his element. Perfect escape from rush. Lock on to Luke Flory as the pocket crumbled. Perfect hit. No panic, just execution. In that moment, you knew, yes, he belongs here. That level of presence doesn't come from hype. It comes from preparation. Shedeur went 7-for-9, nearly 80% efficiency in live drills. Every throw was on cadence, on rhythm, on target. Meanwhile, Gabriel, with what scout team reps he managed, fell into a pattern of miss, reset, miss, stare. No rhythm, no calm, just watered down uncertainty. His 3 for 14 on day 8 isn't just a stat. It was a narrative sinking in deeper. Even as he returned, Shedeur downplayed a little arm tightness. Natural, he said, nothing to slow him down. That right there is leadership shell shock, letting the team know he's ready before they even know to worry. Now, the quarterback room stands at crossroads. Dillon Gabriel's neck isn't broken, just bent. But when combined with his inconsistency, the doubts grow. Meanwhile, Kenny Pickett is sidelined, recovering slowly. And Joe Flacco, well, he's the veteran fallback, a known entity. Sure, but Shedeur, he's the imposed future. And after today, you'd more regret handing the keys to an older model when someone rearranged the showroom with a clear upgrade. This is that moment fans dream of. A rookie answers a call. Performance becomes a louder voice than pedigree or politics. The chemistry, the footage, the quiet confidence, it's speaking. And right now, the squad is listening. So the question becomes, do the Browns finally stop flirting with philosophical questions about timelines, development, and earning reps? Or do they press play real quick and ride with what's winning, what's working, what can take them from chaos to competence? If they handle Shedeur like he's a project, as hesitated development rather than a clear lead, they risk creating a football scar Cleveland's seen too often. But if they pivot, let the offense play to the guy getting the misses instead of just avoiding them, that's a bold move. That's clarity. That's culture. If instant karma is real, this was a textbook case. A player proves himself under pressure, and in return, everything that was shaken simultaneously settles. The coaching staff just got answers. The locker room got direction. The fans got hope. Now comes the choice. Do you let the moment incubate in halftime talks, boardrooms, messaging reviews? Or do you act? With every rep Shedeur throws, the answer becomes clearer. And Danny fans, they're already leaning in. Time to see if the Browns will finally back performance and stop delaying the inevitable. That's the chessboard. And Shedeur just moved to Queen Square. If there was any doubt about Shedeur's readiness, that ended the second he stepped onto practice field and treated it like a live game. We're not talking about a decent rookie performance or a solid showing. This was surgical. Every rep looked intentional. Every decision looked rehearsed, but not robotic. He wasn't out there trying to prove he belonged. He already knew he did. What made it even more compelling wasn't just the stats or the film. It was the way the entire mood shifted around him. The sideline chatter changed. Teammates straightened up in the huddle. Even the coaches, who had been suspiciously quiet about Shedeur in prior weeks, couldn't help but gravitate toward the quarterback who was clearly moving the chains and commanding the room. Let's break this down. Joe Flacco brings experience. Sure, he's a Super Bowl MVP. He's outrun the best deep balls of the last 2 decades. But Joe is also what he is. He's not going to surprise anyone anymore. His ceiling is fixed, and his mobility? Well, let's just say he's at the foot speed of a parked Buick. Dillon Gabriel? This was supposed to be his developmental year, his chance to learn the playbook, run scout team reps, and maybe, just maybe, push into second-string territory by midseason. But with Shedeur stepping back into the spotlight, that timeline just hit a wall. And Gabriel, to his credit, is trying, but when the throws go wide and the body language screams lost, it's not hard to see the writing on the wall. Now, the Browns front office is in an awkward position because if they don't reward what Shedeur is doing on the field, they risk more than just bad press. They risk alienating the locker room. Think about it. Players see who's balling. They know who's putting in the work. When your best quarterback isn't getting the reps he's earned, that disconnect doesn't stay private for long. And speaking of disconnects, let's not forget Jimmy Haslam's less than subtle fingerprints on this entire situation. We've heard the whispers. He wasn't sold on Sanders during the draft. Maybe it was the Deion connection. Maybe it was ego. Maybe it was just the old NFL owner syndrome. Believing you know better than your scouts because you've got a yacht and an ownership stake. Whatever the reason, the power dynamic is crystal clear. GM Andrew Berry believed in Shedeur. He saw the upside, the leadership, the intangibles. And now, that vision is paying off in real time. Haslam, on the other hand, has to choose whether he wants to cling to his doubts or pivot and back the quarterback who's clearly rising. Because here's the harsh truth. Development windows don't last forever. Every day that Shedeur doesn't get reps with the first team is a day wasted. It's not just about camp buzz. It's about building trust with the offensive line, developing chemistry with the starting wideouts, adjusting protections, learning tempo. And you don't get that by running third-string drills in the second half of practice. There was a moment during that latest camp session that said everything without saying a word. Sanders rolled out of a collapsing pocket, scanned his progressions, and hit a check down to a tight end in stride. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't a viral clip. But it was exactly the kind of play that separates starting quarterbacks from guys just wearing the jersey. The pocket presence, the decision-making, the awareness, and the throw, effortless. You could see the reaction from his teammates. A few head nods, a slap on the helmet. That's our guy kind of energy that you can't manufacture. It either exists or it doesn't. And right now, it exists around Shedeur. Contrast that with Gabriel, whose most memorable moment from that same practice involved him arguing with a receiver over a miscommunication and then walking off the field in visible frustration. That's not leadership, it's unraveling. Now, let's not kid ourselves. Quarterback battles are always political. Always. But there's a difference between a healthy QB competition and a manipulated one. What's happening in Cleveland is starting to feel like the latter. Because when the reps start shifting not based on performance, but on prior expectations, that's when the cracks start to show. And Shedeur, he's cracking the illusion. Every perfect rep exposes a lie that he's not ready. Every successful scramble under pressure shows that he's already seen the game at an NFL level. And every nod of approval from teammates chips away at the narrative that this is a two-man race. It's not. This is Shedeur's job to lose. And that makes some people, particularly in the front office, very uncomfortable. Because if the rookie wins, some execs lose face. It means admitting the initial doubts were wrong. It means elevating a quarterback who came in with outside expectations and disrupted the status quo. It means Jimmy Haslam might have to stand behind a decision he didn't champion. But that's the job, isn't it? Adjusting when the evidence is undeniable? Let's talk about Stefanski for a second. This is a make or break year for him. He knows it. He's had leeway in the past. But patience doesn't last forever in the NFL. And what he does with his quarterback situation could define not only the Brown season, but his own career. Stick with the old guard, and he risks mediocrity at best, disaster at worst. But take a shot on Shedeur, and the narrative flips. Suddenly, He's the coach with guts, the guy who trusted talent over politics, the leader who saw the future and didn't blink. If that sounds dramatic, that's because it is. This is Cleveland, after all, a franchise that's made a brand out of quarterback failure. They burn through more potential franchise guys than some teams have offensive coordinators. But maybe, just maybe, this time could be different. Because Shedeur isn't just another rookie with a big arm. He's mentally sharp. He's poised. He knows how to handle pressure. Not just in the pocket, but under the microscope. And he's not afraid of competition. He's not ducking interviews. He's not pointing fingers. He's just showing up and showing out. Which raises the next big question. If Shedeur doesn't win this job outright, then what exactly are the Browns doing? Because when your best quarterback isn't starting, when your most composed player isn't being developed, and when your locker room starts quietly questioning the process, that's how dysfunction festers. That's how seasons spiral. And let's not forget the fans in all this. They're watching. They see the reps. They read the body language. They're not fooled. And they've been burned too many times to pretend anymore. If the Browns mess this up, if they waste another young quarterback's prime to protect someone's pride, there will be consequences. Not just boos, not just jersey returns, but a collapse in belief. Because when your fans lose faith in process, you've lost everything. Shedeur Sanders is ready. The locker room knows it. The film proves it. The stats support it. The only thing left is whether the Browns are willing to act on it. This isn't about flash. It's about future. And if Cleveland has any sense of timing, they'll understand this moment for what it is. Not a fluke, not a feel-good story, but a pivot point. One that could rewrite the Browns' trajectory. You want culture? Start by rewarding performance. You want wins? Start by playing your best players. You want a future worth watching? Start with Shedeur. Because here's what Cleveland needs to realize, and fast. Windows like this don't stay open forever. The NFL moves too fast. Teams that hesitate get passed up. Coaches that play it safe get replaced. And rookies with potential get buried, traded, or worse, labeled before they ever get a fair shot. And Shedeur Sanders, he's right on that edge. Not because of his performance. He's exceeding every expectation, but because of how the Browns are managing the narrative around him. Because the minute this becomes about protecting egos instead of maximizing talent, it's already over. Let's take a deeper look at the ripple effect inside that building. It starts in the QB room. When Shedeur walks in, he's not just the rookie. He's starting to feel like the guy. The backup quarterbacks are already noticing. Even veterans like Flacco, who've seen hundreds of next big things come and go, have reportedly started giving him longer looks. Not side eyes, not annoyance, but acknowledgement. That unspoken, okay, you're legit moment. It matters. Because locker rooms know. Coaches can hide behind press conferences. Front offices can play dumb. But players don't lie to themselves. Not when their paychecks depend on who's under center. Wide receivers are running crisper routes for Shedeur. Tight ends are staying after practice to go over red zone timing with him. Linebackers talk about how he's reading the field like a vet. This isn't hype. It's earned respect. Even more telling is the shift in the coaching tone. Kevin Stefanski, known for being measured and borderline evasive when asked about QB battles, has been dropping breadcrumbs. Phrases like situational awareness, command of the huddle, and natural leadership are starting to come up, and they're almost always in reference to Sanders. That wouldn't be happening if the plan was to redshirt him for the year. That wouldn't be happening if he wasn't making decisions on the field look easy. But it's not just about throwing dimes in 7-on-7 drills. Shedeur's real value? It's his composure. You see it when a rep breaks down and he doesn't panic. He resets the formation, claps his hands, and goes again. You see it when a receiver misses his route, and instead of showing frustration, he pulls him aside and explains the spacing. You see it when the blitz comes, and Shedeur adjusts protection without looking over to the sideline for help. That's not just talent. That's quarterbacking. That's rare. So why isn't the decision already made? Well, welcome to Cleveland, where politics matter more than performance, and optics sometimes get in the way of opportunity. We've seen this before. Talented players get stuck behind legacy decisions. Highly paid veterans keep jobs they're no longer winning. Coaching staffs play musical chairs with personnel while claiming it's evaluation. And the longer they wait, the more pressure builds. Media's already buzzing. Fan blogs are